Hey, it's been a while since I last filled you in on what I was actually up to. The last video on my channel is my 2016 in review, which you should totally go and watch if you haven't. But in terms of just sort of semi-regular vlogs on my travels, it's been quite a busy few weeks. So I thought I'd fill you in on exactly what I've been up to since I left George Mason. So the first thing I did after leaving George Mason was I jumped straight on a train and went to Wilmington, Delaware. Strange place. But I went solely because they have no sales tax, and I wanted to buy myself a Christmas present, which I did in the form of an Apple Watch. And then I jumped straight on a bus the next morning and went to New York City. And I spent the next 8 days in New York City. I was kind enough to have some extended family who hosted me at their place up in Dobbs Ferry, which is sort of about 35 minutes north of Manhattan Island. I celebrated Christmas with them and managed to travel down into the city every day to be a tourist. So the first thing I did once I got into New York was I met up with a friend of mine, Alex, who lives in Germany, and we went straight to the top of 30 Rockefeller Center to Top of the Rock and took photos of New York. After that, we sort of just walked around Midtown for a while, ended up at a Christmas fair.
Work, how cool you are.
And then of course we went to Times Square, which is what would end up being my first of like 4 visits to Times Square in like 3 days. After Times Square, we walked up to the bottom of Central Park and then along the bottom of Central Park to the Apple Store 5th Avenue, past the Spectacle Shop, which is where we parted ways, and then I went back into Central Park and looked around for a bit longer. The next day I went downtown and went all the way down to One World Trade Center and the 9/11 Memorial and the Westfield that's there, and just spent my time in that area. Went down to Battery Park and had a look at Wall Street, and then came back up and had a look through the 9/11 Memorial site. Then on Christmas Eve, I went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. went home to celebrate Christmas with this group family and everyone was lovely and it was a beautiful Christmas, and I didn't really shoot anything on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day because I was just enjoying my time. On Boxing Day, I moved from Dobbs Ferry down to Brooklyn, and that took most of the day. I had way too much stuff. That night, I caught up with a couple of friends in Times Square, and then we walked over to Hell's Kitchen to have dinner. And that was pretty much that day. Then the next morning, I spent a couple of hours editing the last video, which you should watch if you haven't seen. And then I went to the MoMA in the afternoon and saw a whole bunch of Piet Mondrian artworks, which is possibly my favorite artist. They wouldn't let me film inside, so I sneaked a couple of short clips, but otherwise I just sort of enjoyed the artworks. And then I caught up with a whole bunch of friends from high school who just so happened to be in New York at the same time, and we got a beer, and that was really nice. On my last full day in New York, I caught up with a friend and we went to the spectacle store to buy some Snapchat spectacles. And then we went to Chinatown to haggle over the price of knockoff handbags, which I didn't record because they really don't like that. And then walked up the length of the High Line, which was quite cold. And then I caught up with another friend at Union Park and we went to a restaurant and then to a fancy bar. The next morning I jumped on a plane and flew to Charlotte, North Carolina to hang out with a friend of mine, Daniel, and his younger brother Ian, for what ended up being about 5 days. We just sort of toured around Charlotte, had a look around, had New Year's Eve. That was pretty much that time. It was super chill, chance to just sort of relax in the middle of all of this hectic travel.
Yeah, we're walking around Charlotte at night with literally nothing to do.
After Charlotte, I flew to Chicago, where it was very, very cold. But you'll have to wait for that in the next episode. For now, that's everything. Thanks.